Hello everyone, this is Jim Okrasinski. So for this week's lecture video, I thought I would review um, two of the examples of the formal report that are uploaded here to Blackboard. So as always, and I always kind of preface what I'm going to say, and especially about student examples, are that I just can't find a totally perfect 100% wonderful student example. Maybe they do exist, but given the demands of being a student, schedules, sometimes you just work with what we have here in the way of examples. So unfortunately, from time to time, students happen to take examples as like gospel and look to mimic, but examples are predominantly meant to provide some sort of a framework. Ultimately, your decisions regarding the assignment, your thinking will drive your pulling together the formal report or any assignment, as a matter of fact. So here we'll take a look first at the fitness center example, Lorena's example from about a year or so ago. It's a pretty good example of the fitness center. As you can see here, she has created the cover page. Also has included the transmittal inside the report. That is acceptable if you have it outside of the report, like the first page and then the cover on the second page. I can work with that. I'm just looking for that transmittal to demonstrate exactly, you're letting the audience know what's coming. So here is a pretty good example of the transmittal with contact information. And I don't want to spend a lot of time on a transmittal, but it is required. Now remember, you want to put all your information on the cover page there, like your name and course and that type of information. I'd say here is the descriptive abstract, and in reading through this prior to recording the video here, the lecture video, um, it looks pretty straightforward, just letting the audience know once again what to look for and the topic of the particular formal report. Now here is the executive summary, and I like to spend a little time on the executive summary. I think this one might be a bit long. You can see two large paragraphs of blocks of text. It does indicate some of the specifics, positives and negatives. I think it could be worded a little bit more concisely. You're looking for a one-page um, executive summary. This one drifts into the second page. So be sure to take that into consideration. I'm looking for a little bit more in the way of specifics here. But you do have some general information like the square footage, the cost. I didn't know that I owned a construction company. Well, I did years ago in a whole nother life. So you can take a look at the executive summary here. You might have to add a few more specifics, and I'll get to the next example. Then there'll be a demonstration of that in the jobs formal report. All right. So here is the introduction, as you can see, with a small image here. Okay. And talking about some of the aspects of the project for the fitness center. Okay. And then also the analysis, which is a benefits. As you can see, the visual here is integrated well within the text so that reading can coincide with the visual attraction of the graph or chart here. All right. So we have benefits, and we go on with another chart that is within the boundaries of the margin. It is also demonstrated the additional information. As you can see here, much of the facts and figures, some of this might have been able to be incorporated into the executive summary. So you have, once again, the benefits, and as with everything, there is a risk. All right. So here are the risks along with the fitness center. Okay, and also some more graphics that really display some numbers and the purpose there. All right, so here you can pretty much find all the images online to give you some sort of a layout. And also, as I scroll down, the conclusions, some of the headings could have been made a little clearer. Remember, working 14-point font with a bold instead of different colors is always the goal here, right? And then we have the references page. As you can see, the references page basically formatted according to APA guidelines and organized alphabetically. All right. So this is the fitness center example. That was a pretty good example. That's why it's up in the works in the unit in Blackboard. Let me get out of this real quick, and let me pull up the. Here we go. I was at the end of my particular. Here we go. Let's see if I can get this move along quicker. All right, we have from the transmittal is from COD student. I'm not sure why this particular student decided to do that in an anonymous format. You got to have a job. You have to have a your name on there, right? Excuse me. And also, it's prepared for English 1105. But once again, I don't have a student's name here, so that was an issue at that particular point in time. But I thought it was a really good computer science jobs formal report. So, abstract, once again, basic and straightforward, a little shorter than Lorena's. The idea here is that you want to meet the criteria in the assignment. Also, the table of contents. Okay, you want to make sure that is accurate. The executive summary, and I really kind of like this executive summary here about the jobs um, formal report. You have the information, the numbers here that anybody who would read this could really determine some of the specifics here about the different career choices, the two, and then the conclusion on it. Really straightforward, one page, 4 paragraph structure is an excellent example of the executive summary, the introduction. Now, generally, the jobs reports are a limited text situation, so I see more information than I do writing about the jobs. So, what we have here is some excellent use of white space to separate some of the categories in the introduction. One thing I want to reiterate here is that each item is basically one page per item, like the introduction is one page, and then you move on to the next page. So here's software developing research, and what you see is you see some great information in the visual here, but like in figure 1, this visual takes up most of the page. Now I would like to see the visuals shaped a bit more, integrated with the text like Lorena's. I often enjoy looking at how the designing aspect of placing visuals within text helps make a formal report look like a professional document. As we look at other digital work or other publications, you see that consistent and efficient use of visuals in publications there, right? And the way they're integrated and how they're basically sized, it really adds to the visual aesthetics really of the assignment, right, or of any publication. So we have the working environment, the education and the skills. Here we get into the numbers, but once again, I want to point out that this particular visual is just in the middle there. That could have been better sized and executed within the text. And it pretty much is consistent with the information about the positions and then the size of the visuals. Excuse me again. You have some excellent information here. Okay, about positions and projected employment. I think is always an interesting conversation. And then also the map showing you the density of certain positions, where they're located, and many ideas and many professions, I should say, that there is some sort of an excellent way of determining exactly where the best job market might be. Okay, so as I scroll through, here comes computer hardware engineering research. Once again, covers a lot of the nice white space with some of the information here. Looking for some of the visuals, once again, are much of the same pattern. Like I said, I would like them to be integrated a little bit more. And also some of the additional charts and information really about employment and hourly wage are always welcomed and is the focus of this report. It really makes a difference for a lot of the students when they do that particular this particular formal report for the computer science jobs and comparisons. It works out well. A lot of people can really define where they're going and what they're doing. Then I have here the conclusion and recommendation. So remember, there is a conclusion and there has to be a recommendation. And let's scroll on down to the references page. Yes, that references page, once again, done in APA format, organized alphabetically for the computer science example. So both of them are really, really good examples. Hopefully it'll provide you some context to help your thinking about the two different topics and the formal report. If you have any questions, send me an email or you know, provide some sort of a comment in your draft if you want me to take a look at that in your peer review report when you fill that out. So, that being said, good luck and stay safe.